Hello and welcome to Two Buffoons with a highly selective dictionary talk about nothing that pertains to the importance of society. Wow, rolls right off the tongue.
Man, we have done this intro approximately 4 times in our lifetime, but we are learning ourselves, and I cannot agree more with that statement. Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is my co-host,
Jimmy James.
And we run this podcast, as you all know, the one you are watching on this fine evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of the day you are watching it. And I don't know about you, or you, but today marks a very prominent time in human history on the timeline of humans, aliens, or whatever creation you identify as many memories are yet to be made.
I would just like to state my agreement to the statement that you have made prior to this moment, as it has been the first time in human history that we have posted a Two Buffoons podcast within the same year as another one. As it has been, if I did my math correctly on my handy dandy scientific calculator, 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe even 8.5 plus 17.5 days since we have posted the last episode onto www.youtube.com.
And I don't know about you, but you saying that just makes me want to give a massive thank you to our research team, our directors, and our producers that sit right in front of us that we see, but you don't, that are working a tight shift that we schedule them every day. And by every day, I mean 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year of constant no sleep, constant no eating, and doing all they can to help make us have a massive budget and boost our ego by 612%.
That is quite a lot of time to be spending on us, if I would interject my humble opinion, but I do not care because it boosts our ego.
That is very true, and I just want to say thank you to you guys, and this amazing setup that you have given us, this new podcast setup that will only take place here for 1 episode, but it is still great, and I am very thankful. What are your thoughts?
I would just like to say my excitement has gotten into a rocket ship, blasted through the ceiling, into the sky, into space, and into the next universe, as I am very excited, filled with anticipation, happiness, and the need to smell flowers at the current time, because it is very much an exciting time for the Two Buffoons podcast.
I would have to agree with that statement, but if I look at the clock, it looks like we're getting close to the time where we need to acknowledge our sponsor of today's episode.
Yep, you just took the words right out of my mouth and into your mouth. Well, anyway, I believe the sponsors of this episode today will be known as Bozo Brothers, Bodaciously Beautiful Bikes and Bed Frames. Well, I believe this is very much an important sponsor because many people are faced with this issue in our current day and age.
I could agree.
Have you ever been so broke that you couldn't afford a hotel room and motor vehicle simultaneously? Well, fear not, for Bozo Brothers Bodaciously Beautiful Bikes and Bed Frames, or BBB, has you covered.
And I am just ecstatic to work with this company, as I've never heard of them before, but I saw them on the near edge of the road and decided if they wanted to sponsor us, and I was very thankful that they said yes.
Yep, that's just what I was thinking.
And I think we are both blessed to have the opportunity to have a private phone call with them live for you, and I think that time is now.
Yep, I would have to agree.
Here they are. Now we are on the telephone device to call our sponsors of BBB, owned by the Bozo Brothers themselves, Boomer and Butler. Now I'd just like to ask, what made you think of this masterful innovation?
Well, you see, my bed was recently dismantled by a grumpy alligator doing drugs, and my financial status didn't allow for me to purchase even one of the bottomest-of-the-line vehicles from Brody's used car lot, so I thought it would be beneficial to humanity and other relevant life forms if we combine transportation with the ability to acquire some Z's.
Yeah, that's crazy, but I don't really care that much. Finally, to conclude our extensive series of questions, what kind of reviews are your customers leaving on your ingenious product?
Well, unfortunately, without an extra generous product endorsement that we did not have prior to this exclusive and rather exquisite interview with our very good brethren, the Two Buffoons, we have only been able to sell one singular copy of our product to our dog, Bartholomew Benson the third. He has, however, exhibited much joy and feelings of great happiness in his use of BBB, and has stated that it is his favorite product in the entire universe.
Well, that's enough of that racket, and now this call is going to end. Wow, what a very inspiring and thought-provoking message from our sponsor. Oh, did I say inspiring and thought-provoking? I actually meant horrible, depressing, and body odor-inducing.
And unfortunately, I would have to agree with that statement, as I have experienced a very traumatic experience, as well as you, and I'm greatly sorry, as that is what I get when I decide to obtain a sponsor from a very non-existent company on the side of the road that has zero money and zero customers and pretty much zero of anything. And I just want to say that in the next couple of days you will start to experience very mind-boggling assumptions that could cause you to do very, very not good things, in which I may not state for the uttermost respect of you guys, and it could last up to 42 days and 6 weeks long. I just ask that you do not sue me. Back to you.
Yep, those were pretty much exactly the words that were about to leave my mouth and enter into your ear canals. Anyway, now that absolute malarkey has been terminated from our lifetimes, we shall now move on to the next segment of our podcast, in which is movie reviews.
And in today's movie review segment, we will be reviewing the movie that we will be reviewing of Pirates of the Caribbean. And Pirates of the Caribbean is starring a very known actor in the name of Johnny Depp, starring as Jack Sparrow.
Yep, I could not have said that better myself. But as we know, Johnny Depp has been going through some very unfortunate and very not fun roller coasters in his lifetime in the current days of 2022 and the latter half of 2021, as he has been going through some roller coasters, ups and downs, which I've already stated previously, because he has been going through a very unfortunate and downtrodden lawsuit with his formerly known as wife, Amber Heard.
And Amber Heard is an uttermost disgrace to all humankind, and I can say that if you are on the side of Amber Heard, you are personally invited to join the or have a one-way ticket to the NASA space station and join the complimentary Two Buffoons rocket ship and fly out of this atmosphere into the other atmosphere in which I do not have the name of. Back to you.
I would just like to express my gratitude to my co-host here for bringing up that very harsh but very necessary and accurate punishment, because that is exactly what will happen to you.
It is.
Well, anyway, now that we know that Amber Heard can be oftentimes correlated to a dumpster fire amidst a trash can in New Mexico, because she has been known to drop a dookie in Johnny Depp's bed.
And that is very traumatic for him, as unfortunately he had to miss the very first court hearing, as he had to change his linens and buy a brand new mattress and stop by the laundromat on his way to the court hearing. Excuse me. Back to you.
Yep. Well, I would just like to state for all the fans out there that there are only 3 reasons that I would drop a dookie in someone else's bed: if they shot my dog, ate my cheesecake, or mopped my floors without my permission.
And that is just, I would have to agree with those very 3 reasons, but I would have to add one of my own, and that is when one of my closest or strangers of who I know decide to wear my Crocs and start tap dancing in muddy puddles and while eating a banana split with cucumbers. And it's just something that I very much dislike. And back to you.
Well, that was an entirely necessary addition to this segment, and I'm very glad you brought it up. Well, anyway, that concludes our segment of movie review for today.
And now introducing the next segment of today's podcast, I would have to say my favorite of all time.
I
and that
definitely
is,
would have to make my agreement now.
as I would agree with your agreement, and that is topic of the day. And today's topic of the day is actually what Jimmy James will be speaking of.
That is absolutely and entirely accurate. And today's topic of the day, which is happening right now, today, on this day of today, is actually very interesting because it has to do with the very planet that we are currently standing on and sitting on and laying down on, which is the Earth. Now, some rather uninteresting and idiotic people devoid of brain power have recently been spreading theories on the internet, books, and other means of media that the Earth is actually, instead of being in the spherical orb type fashion, it is reminiscent of a pancake and it is very flat.
And I unfortunately have to agree, as I've seen the same rumors and remarks being made by uttermost buffoons, which are, if I clarify once again, are different types of buffoons. And you have, would you like to tell them the definition?
Yeah, if some of our viewers may be confused on what we mean by that wording, this version of buffoons that we're currently speaking of can be synonymous to words such as Neanderthal or rapscallion.
Which is not us or you.
Of course.
And would you like to tell them the main reason why these theories are being made?
Now, if you would dig deep into your memory banks at this current time, into our previous segment on this very episode of movie reviews, you will remember that we we're speaking of a very rather not good and garbage fire human being known as Amber Heard. And if you would please remember from our previous segment that she actually lost the court case against our good friend Johnny Depp. She has been eating a lot of French fries and hamburgers and pizza and other unhealthy items with many carbohydrates and sugars, and she is gaining many pounds.
And I have to say that she is her levels of depression are going through the roof in numbers that do not exist, which is quite tragic as she's attending counseling and her counselor is not sure what to do.
That is entirely correct, because in her eating of entirely too many carbohydrates and unhealthy foods, she's gained approximately 1.3.8 trillion plus 10 trillion pounds, and she is making this theory that we previously thought to be tomfoolery of the flat earth a reality.
As we are all experiencing at this fine moment that we are becoming flatter than we ever have in our entire lives. And I don't know what to say, folks, but
the reason for this is because, if I may clarify, that Amber Heard has gained entirely too much weight, that she is crushing the earth beneath her large mass.
And I don't appreciate this as I start to feel claustrophobic in these tight areas with no windows or substantial forms of light force, and I can say that my sense of heart beating is slowing down into the type of well-known called death. And back to you.
Yep, and what my co-host actually means to say by that is that the way that the people of the citizens of the earth are trying to combat this method is that all the restaurants and establishments that are currently still unflattened are providing all that they can in the form of salads to feed to Amber Heard to help her lose weight. And excuse me.
I would just have to say that I'm very thankful for that, as my claustrophobic percentile of my body is going above 100%, which you may think is not possible, but it is happening to me, and I'm just thankful for those restaurants.
Yeah, and definitely I would just like to say, as in this time that, since this segment has started, actually, she has already lost approximately 2.3.5 billion pounds from eating these salads instead of these very unhealthy foods like burgers and French fries and milkshakes and hot dogs.
Which is good, because I'm suddenly not experiencing claustrophobic, and it's good for my well-being.
That's definitely what I was thinking. Well, anyway, if our viewers would like to take these words that we have been spreading to you and spread them to all the places that you can that serve salad, to join in the fight to giving Amber Heard more salad, as we do not want to live in a pancake, but rather a sphere, like a ball.
And we just ask that you start the # sign of #serve Amber Heard salad. And do you have any more thoughts on this?
Nope.
Well,
welcome to the newest and finest addition to today's podcast, taking the form of the segment of Art Critiques.
Mm-hmm. And, Art Critiques is the one segment that I have been looking forward to since day one of this podcast, and I can say that I'm extremely stoked and ready to... Actually, no, not ready, but I'm actually feeling like I'm off the coast of Hawaii, drinking my pina colada in my floaty, ready to take on some waves with my surfboard.
Yep, those were definitely the exact thoughts that were making their way across my brain area at the current moment. But perhaps those actions would be very inappropriate at the current moment, as we are in an art museum at the current moment, and therefore we must pay respect to the fact that we are in an area of very fine artistic development. If you will... excuse me, were you going to say something?
No, you can go first.
Okay. If you will direct your gaze towards our neck areas, you will see that we are currently wearing very fine pieces of intricate and beautifully bodacious clothing at the moment, to pay respect to the fact that we're in an art museum.
And I would have to say the same and agree very much to that statement, as I can say that what we definitely don't want to do is come across as offensive or inappropriate in any way, shape, or kind to anyone, especially the museum directors, and we just want to give off the attribute that we are looking very bon appetit, some people may call it.
That is definitely what I was thinking. Now, before we actually get into our critiquing, I would just like to say that we both have 7 PhDs from the University of Art and the Academy of Artness, in art critiquing. Therefore, everything we say is exactly correct. And if you do not believe it, then you can get in your Two Buffoons rocket ship and leave the planet.
As always. And I can confirm that what he just said is 100% true, as we have graduated from this university twice and know exactly what we were talking about.
That is definitely what I was thinking. Now, as we will officially now get into our art critiquing. And now I believe it is time to get into the art critiquing portion of our art critiquing segment. Now, if you will direct your attention towards your screen area, you will see that there is a rather interesting and intricate painting there, known as the Mona Lisa, done by my good friend Leonardo DiCaprio in the year 1003 BC.
And I have to agree with everything you just stated, and I feel like I can say for the both of us that this is a female figure, and she is taking a seat on who knows what, and that's just about all I can say to describe this painting.
Yeah, I definitely have to say my agreement, and in my opinion, she definitely does have hair as well as a facial area.
And that's just about all there is to describe, so we should move on.
Of course. Now, if you will once again look at your screen, you will see a painting is appearing of it's actually a landscape, very different from the last one. Very
100%.
interesting. It is called the Starry Night, done by Vincent Van Gogh to the Bathroom, one of my favorite artists of all time, and by that I mean my least favorite.
And he's a very good artist, and I feel like if we take a look at this painting, that it is very dark and scenery, and I think the whole point of it is that you can't see anything as it is at nighttime, and that's what I'm thinking.
That's definitely what I was thinking. Now, in my perhaps this is a controversial opinion, but there are indeed stars in the sky.
That is very true, as it is also in the name, but I feel like it gives very little light as it is still in the nighttime.
Yep.
I think we should move on to the final piece.
That is definitely what I was thinking. Now, if you will look at your final piece that is appearing on your screen at the current moment, in my humble opinion, this is perhaps one of the greatest works of our time. Now, I would like to not disclose the name of the artist because they definitely would get swamped on their Twitter account.
And I must say that this artist is a very, 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 very young individual that we like to keep secret, as this is a sacred person, and we feel that this painting should not be falling into the wrong hands.
I definitely would have to agree. Now, if I were to rate some of these paintings, I would say the first one is a 1 out of 10, the second one is a 1 out of 10, and this final one I would have to, if I may go as far as to say, I'd say it was definitely a 15 out of 10.
I would have to agree, as you are just now seeing the painting and on your screen area, and say that I think I can say for both of us that there is 0 things we'd have to critique about it.
That is definitely the truth.
Anything else you have to say about this?
No, but I would just like to say that these are very fine paintings of our time, and by that I mean only the last one is fine. Now we'll end this segment at this current time.
And now the time has come where we all have feelings of despair and say that this is the 4th time in Two Buffoons history where it has to occur, and that is the end of the podcast. And I can say for both of us that we were having very harsh feelings and feelings of hatred towards anyone that gets in our way of causing these episodes to end. But you know, that one guy said it a couple of years ago, all good things have to end.
Now, I definitely could not have stated that statement better myself, as indeed large droplets of water are rolling down my face at a high velocity, creating a rather large puddle of water under my feet, leading me to think that I will need to call over a janitor very soon.
You definitely will, as I could see it for myself and would have to agree with that statement. And now I think the time has come where you need to thank our sponsor just one more time.
Of course, it would be my pleasure to do so. Now, I would like to extend a warm thank you to our sponsor of today, Bozo Brothers Bodaciously Beautiful Bikes and Bed Frames, or BBB.
That's the one.
These are actually, these products that they sell are actually very horrible and fraudulent, and we'll never have them on our show again.
And I can say that for myself and my co-host, and I would say that for you guys, but they gave us money in the smallest portion they could have, and we were just very thankful for them. And we're just looking forward to what the future holds. Anything else you have to say?
Definitely the truth. I would just like to thank you all for watching Two Buffoons with a highly selective dictionary talk about nothing that pertains to the importance of society.
Wow, rolls right out the tongue.
Well, see you later.
Hello and welcome to This is Andrew.
This day marks indeed a very prominent moment in time for humankind and rabbit kind.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Vincent has to go to the bathroom. Massive budgets.
That is quite a lot of time, if I may interject my humble opinion.
You may. The exact margin of time, as according to my mathematical statistical calculator, that is. And I want to leave time for them because we love them just a little bit. Would you like to tell our sponsor? Man, I am super excited to work with them, as I feel very, very comforted and secure when I'm working with them, given a motor vehicle and hotel room, all portable like a moving refrigerator.